First things first, before I get into the main message, data analytics is the route I'm going. It's going to be more of my focus moving forward when it comes to sports media and content creation. For as I've said in the past, like when it comes to sports content creation, you got to find a way to be creative that will allow yourself to stand out among the pack. And when it comes to hot takes and just general journalism in general, there's so many people doing that. And all of us have the same topics. We're all saying the same thing. And it is oversaturated to the point where it's just oversaturated to the point where it's crazy. Whether you're mainstream, whether you're podcasts or just creating shorts, it's just so many people talking about the same thing, same topics. And like, in order for you to stand out, if you don't have any connections to players, coaches, GMs, organizations, you have to find a way to be different that will enable you to stand out from among the pack. And as of now, not too many people are into data analytics when it comes to sports as of now. Eventually that will get oversaturated too, just like hot takes and traditional journalism has. But that's just going to be my focus in the meantime. And then once that get oversaturated, I will have to find something else to do. That's just life. As for my personal life, I'm still in school, still in college, getting ready to transition from active duty military to civilian life, which will be towards the end of this year and between December and January of next year. So I'm also plan on creating some non-sports related content because I really am learning more about tech and AI. My major currently is in cybersecurity. So eventually I will produce more content that's non-sports related. Because when it comes to sports, I mean, eventually all the former players, they're going to eventually take over sports media in general, as they are right now. Now, MLS. So, if you've been following me on Twitter, I started an analytical study. It's called Money Mondays, where I solely focus on the top players, the best players. And I basically study to see who's the most valuable man, who's the highest valuable man based on his play on the field. And I've been posting a lot of content about that on Twitter. I haven't been doing too much on YouTube. So if you haven't been following me on Twitter, follow me at Aku Chronicles on Twitter. As of right now, Chicho Arango is still the most valuable man, the highest valuable man in MLS based on his consistent level of play. My data, the way I formulate the numbers, it awards the most consistent player. And the player who is the most productive on the field. And Chicho Arango has, during the first half or the first quarter, because, I guess we're heading into like the second quarter of the MLS regular season. I believe we're getting into match day 17 or 18 this weekend. So during the first quarter of MLS season, Chicho Arango has been the most consistent. He has been the best. As of right now, he should be leading candidate for MVP, in my opinion. Because he has been the most productive and the most consistent player throughout this first quarter of the MLS season. And in my opinion, he's been performing better than Leo Messi. So if you haven't been following me on Twitter, follow me at Akwu Chronicles. Every Monday, I will post updated numbers on who's the highest valuable man in MLS based on my metric, based on my study. Now, the main message. This is a big match on Friday night between the Columbus Crew and New York City FC. You see, Columbus Crew is coming off of a nasty, terrible CONCACAF Champions Cup performance in the championship match against Pachua. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. Some alluded their bad performance to a stomach flu. Some alluded their bad performance to the altitude. At the end of the day, a loss is a loss. It doesn't matter how many excuses we use for the Columbus Crew. A loss is a loss. And notice, there wasn't any excuses used for Los Angeles FC when they lost in the CCC championship match last year. And the same level of excitement that a lot of people had for Columbus to win, that same love wasn't given to the Seattle Sounders. So Columbus, these are signs that the nation is ready to rally around you and to support you as America's MLS team. However, that won't happen until you surpass the LA Galaxy in having the most stars, because the stars is the measuring point. You see, Columbus, as you get off of this international duty, as you return from international duty, one thing you need to remember is one bad loss does not define an entire season. You see, the good thing about Major League Soccer and the American soccer system in general is that you have multiple chances to bounce back. You have multiple tournaments, which means multiple opportunities to learn from your mistakes and to correct yourself from your mistakes and to redeem yourself from losing a major title. You see, you just lost the CCC. Well, guess what? Guess what's coming up? Leagues Cup. If you lose in Leagues Cup, you got MLS Cup playoffs. And you still have the Supporter Shield through it all. Through all those three major competitions, or the two major competitions, CCC and Leagues Cup, you still have MLS regular season competing for a Supporter Shield. So that's 4 major opportunities for you to win something. You look at your fellow neighbor, Ohio State. They only have 1 major championship. College football playoffs. College football playoffs or bust. Yeah, there's Big Ten championship, but I mean, yes, regional championship. That still matters, but I'm talking about major national championship. You see, in the MLS system, there's like 4 to 5 major national championships. Leagues Cup, Supporter Shield, MLS Cup, US Open Cup, and the CONCACAF Champions Cup, that's Continental Championship, which is bigger than the National Championship. Oh, then you also got Club World Cup, Global Championship. You see, a lot of those opportunities are not available for your neighbor, Ohio State University. So Columbus Crew, you can't allow that one bad loss to define your entire season. And as we're watching you on Friday night at Yankee Stadium, we are going to see how you're going to respond from that loss. Are you gonna step on that field and create a new run for either a Supporter Shield, a Leagues Cup, or another star? Your 4th star, which will tie you with your arch rival, DC United. And you will be 1 star behind LA Galaxy from being the face of Major League Soccer. Because Columbus Crew, there's a lot of people who want you to be the face of American soccer. There's a lot of people that want to support you and rally around you in being the face of American soccer. So when you fall down, Columbus Crew, you got to get back up because you still got a lot of work to do. You still got unfinished business. You got your 12th place in the Supporter Shield, and the history of MLS, 1 week you can be ranked 12 in the Supporter Shield standings, and then 2 weeks later you're ranked number 4. That's how competitive this league is, and you know that, Columbus Crew. So when you step on that field at Yankee Stadium on Friday night, you gotta have a mindset that no matter where we play, we are going to return back to ourselves, which is championship soccer, a championship style of play. Whether we playing on a baseball field, whether we're playing on a sandbox, whether we're playing on a kickball field, it doesn't matter. We are going to dominate. That's the kind of mindset you got to have, Columbus Crew. And we are curious. We're curious to know, are you going to step on that field at Yankee Stadium with that kind of mindset? The big question for you, Columbus Crew, for the rest of this year is, how are you going to respond from that CCC championship or that CCC title loss? That's the big question for you for the rest of this year. And we're going to find out starting Friday night at Yankee Stadium. Now, as for New York City FC, you see, New York City FC, we don't know if you are for real. Yeah, we know you're 3rd place in the Eastern Conference standings and 3rd place in the Supporter Shield standings. But we don't know if you are for real. This game right here, this is going to be your first true test of the season. This is going to be your first true test in the year 2024. because you're going against the defending national champion. Are you going to match their intensity? Or are you going to outperform them? Are you going to be the one where Columbus will have to match your intensity? Or will you have to match Columbus's intensity? You see, New York City, many people are curious. Is this team similar to the 2021 championship team? Is it too good to be true? Some people are kind of nervous because they want to say yes, but at the same time, they don't want to get too overconfident and get let down by some kind of random losing streak that you've been having for the past 2 seasons, where you play really good for a while and then all of a sudden you just have these weird losing streaks. And then you find yourself below the playoff relegation line. We don't know. But we're going to find out Friday night at Yankee Stadium. Is this New York City FC club for real in 2024? Or are they imposters? Are they fake? Are they fool's gold? We're going to find out tonight, Friday night at Yankee Stadium. You know, ever since Tati Castellanos left, we have all been saying, who wants to be the man? Who wants to step up to be the man? That's what the fans been saying. Nobody wants to be the man. Well, it looks like this year there's been a guy that's been listening to the fans. And he said he's tired of the fans being disappointed. He's tired of the fans being angry. He's tired of seeing little kids cry because the team is not entertaining. And he said he wants to be the man. And his actions have spoken louder than his words. Therefore, he is the man. And his name is Santiago Rodriguez. Santiago Rodriguez is the face of New York City because his actions have spoken louder than his words, and his performance on the field has earned him the right to be the face of New York City. So as of now, Santi Rodriguez is the replacement for Tati Castellanos. Now, I'm not a tactics guy, so I can't really break down tactics, but from just a performance effort point of view, a numbers point of view, Santi Rodriguez is the man. As of now, at least. But just because Santiago Rodriguez is the man does not mean that the other NYCFC players are irrelevant. Oh no. There doesn't have to be one face of New York City when it comes to this MLS club. The whole team can be the face of New York City. And that's what will make this team great. When everybody is competing to be great. Where everybody is trying to be the best version of themselves. Not only scoring, also defensively, also passing the ball, communicating. Where everybody is making an effort to be a champion in their role on the team. This New York City team will be unstoppable. But we don't know yet. We don't know if this New York City team is for real. That's why this Friday night at Yankee Stadium, we are going to find out. We want to know, Is this New York City team for real? Or are they imposters? Are they fool's gold? We're going to find out tonight. Friday Night Soccer, Yankee Stadium, Columbus Crew, New York City. This supporter shield race is starting to heat up now. I believe we're heading into now the second quarter of MLS season. I believe the second quarter is now, between now and Leagues Cup. And then after Leagues Cup and Decision Day, that will be the third quarter. So now is the second quarter. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe starting Friday night, between Friday night and Leagues Cup, that will be the second quarter. And then after Leagues Cup to Decision Day, that will be the third quarter of MLS season. So there's going to be a lot of movement because history suggests the teams that are at the top seeds now will probably be bottom 2 to 3 weeks from now, because this league is so competitive and you still have players leaving in the middle of the season. That's something that MLS are really going to have to work on. Losing key players in the middle of the season is not good for your league. I know you got to secure the bag with the European clubs and Liga MX. And I understand that. I understand it's a business. You know, you got bills to pay. I get it. But MLS teams, you cannot forget, there's an expectation for you to win championships. Fans are not supporting your club because they just want to see you develop players and send them off somewhere else. No, the fans are expecting championships, stars. Maybe MLS fans in the 90s and the early 2000s, their expectations were just, develop players to send them off to Europe. But this golden era of Major League Soccer, it's a different level of expectation. There's a reason why over 25,000 fans are still showing up to Gillette Stadium to see the New England Revolution play, despite them being at the bottom of the Supporters' Shield standings. The expectation is still championship amongst the New England fans. No matter how many players the refs sell, no matter how many times the refs lose, fans still show up. 25,000. If it wasn't for Atlanta United, New England would probably be leading the league in fan attendance right now, despite them being at the bottom of the league. That's just an example of the expectation being championships. That's the expectations. So, even though you like to sell players in the middle of the season, we got to find some way around that. I don't know if you may need more sponsors so you can increase the salaries of the players that will prevent them from leaving. Maybe that would be the solution. But at the same time, we don't want like some kind of League One situation where it's called MLS Burger King League. Anyhow, whatever you owners are discussing, you got to find a solution to keep your key players on your team during the season. Now, when we get to the end of the season, they want to leave like in December, January. Yeah, they want to leave. That's fine. That's fine. But in the middle of the season, that's unacceptable. You will never be viewed as a serious league if you continue to lose players in the middle of the season. Key players in the middle of the season. Until then, Major League Baseball and NHL will still be on top of you. Because Major League Baseball doesn't have this problem. NHL doesn't have this problem. You don't have a guy like Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Indians talking about he's about to go to Germany because the Germans are offering him more money. You don't have this issue in the NBA where Steph Curry, they just came off winning an in-season tournament against the Lakers, and now Steph Curry's talking about China. They're offering him more money, so he's about to go to China. You don't have this issue in the NFL. You got a big Thanksgiving game coming up. Chiefs versus 49ers. And Patrick Mahomes talking about he's going to go to Poland because the football league in Poland is offering him more money. See, your competitors or partners, they don't have this kind of issue, MLS. So you really got to find a solution to this problem. Until you find a solution to losing key players in the middle of the season, the American sports fan base as a whole, at large, will never take you serious as a major league.